my toys.
Hey, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're looking at the DC Collectibles DC Essentials Joker figure. You may notice I have two of these. I got one to keep in my complete Batman related action figure collection unopened, and one of course to open. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging. The Joker, he's kind of a more modern looking orange purple suit. DC Collectibles, it's the 11th figure in the series. Not 100% sure how the numbering is going. They've had two waves of 4, and then this wave of 4 there's also been one or two 2-packs along the way. On one side we got a picture of the Joker figure holding his cane. On the other side there's absolutely nothing. On the top we sort of just got a big J Joker logo. On the bottom, barcode, a bunch of useless junk. And on the back side we've got a picture of this Joker figure, a little description of him, as well as the picture of the rest of the wave being Batgirl, Nightwing, and Harley Quinn. I got this figure from dcbservice.com. I got it for $17, 33% off the suggested retail price. The only caveat to that is you have to order quite a bit ahead of time to get them for a discount. I got the first two figures from this wave, being Nightwing and Harley Quinn, a little bit earlier than these guys. And these guys, the Joker and Batgirl, a little bit longer delay, but happy to have them in hand now. So with no further ado, let's open this guy up and see how cool he is. And then here's the Joker figure taking its rightful spot in front of my comic collection with all of my other recent unopened action figure acquisitions. Here he is with all the DC Essentials figures. You can see the current wave on that shelf. And as we go a little bit lower, we've got some of the Doomsday Clock figures and the previous couple waves. Alright, well now we got this figure out of the package. Here he is with all of his accessories. He only comes with one thing, that's a Joker cane, but we'll look at that in a little bit. First, let's check out the actual figure. Here's how he looks. He's a more modern version of the Joker. Kind of like the different colors. Still, got some purple, kind of classic, but then a lot of orange and teal, kind of newer stuff. So he's got the nice little flower here, nice sinister grin, wavy hair, teal shirt. You can see a little bit under his vest here, orange vest, orange underneath his jacket. I think it looks pretty cool. Different shades of purple on his shoes, pants, gloves, etc. Overall, looks like a pretty nice figure. Now let's take a look at his Joker cane. You can see here, pretty basic. It's got some green Joker hair at the top, a little handle, a Joker face on the front, purple, a little bit of gold in the middle. And here's about the best look you're probably going to get at this cane up close. You see Joker hair, sinister grin, pretty much a Joker face on his Joker cane. And I think it looks best with his left hand holding the cane like this across the top, and his right hand holding the cane like this, like he's swinging it around or something. And then here's the DC Essentials cane compared to a bunch of other Joker canes in my collection. The DC Essentials one is made of a hard plastic, it's not bendable like some of these other ones. Well, now that we've checked out this guy's one accessory, next let's check out the height of this figure. These DC Essential figures are pretty tall. They're usually around 7 inches tall. And this guy here looks like he's sitting at right around 7.0 inches, almost 7 exactly. Next, let's look at this figure's articulation, and the DC Essentials figures have quite a bit of that. I will say, when messing with this figure, I had to put his head into hot water to get his neck to work properly, and now has a very large range of motion. His head really can't tilt much. You can see it kind of does that. Of course, it can go around, absolutely no problem. It can look down that far, which is pretty cool, and up about that far. Like I said before, I had to use hot water. It seemed to be stuck this area inside of here, but the hot water freed it up pretty nicely. One thing I did notice about this Joker as well, his head pops off extremely easy, implying, I don't know, there was a swappable head possibly at one point in mind. His shoulders go out about that far. Of course, they're on a ball joint, completely up and down, around, etc., etc. Then he's got a bicep cut here, double jointed elbows. You can see they can completely go like this. He can touch top of his head, scratch his ears, all kind of stuff. Pretty much whatever you want him to do, he can do. Cover up his mouth, etc. His wrist, of course, it can turn around, and it's hinged as well. Then he's got an ab crunch here. That's all it can do is go up and down. So he does have the traditional waist swivel as well. His hips go out pretty much completely 90 degrees. Then go forward that much and back, not at all. He's got this thigh cut right here. Double jointed knees go absolutely all the way back. Nothing going on right here. Then his feet, they have the same type of joint inside of here as Series 1 figures, which a lot of people say is annoying, myself included. Biggest problem here is you can't really get to them. So you could have ankle rockers if you move it around properly, but then it's really, really hard to execute the way these are designed because of his pant legs. They can go up and down. They kind of can tilt, but it all depends on how this joint in here is positioned. In addition to his head being easily removable, this guy continues a trend of the other DC Essentials figures where the hand is also easily removable. Next, let's take a closer look at his face, look at some of the details. He's got a little bit of dark sort of paint above his eyebrow, got kind of dimples in here, a little bit darker inside of there, just sort of accentuate those details. Looks pretty cool. His hair is green, it's got some black lines going through it, kind of wavy. Pretty nice detail here. I like how bony it is, his cheekbones, his sinister grin, the sort of area on top where it's sort of folding in kind of reminds me of Jack Nicholson 1989 Joker. Next, I would like to compare him to other DC Essentials figures, other Joker action figures, other recently released clown figures in the same scale, and other various action figure lines to see how he compares with them both scale and style-wise. Now here he is next to the figures I have from the DC Essentials Series 1. I collect the Batman-related characters. Here's a nice modern Batman to fight a modern Joker. I'm not sure if this Joker's from a Rebirth comic. I personally have not read a Rebirth comic that features a Joker like this. Of course, they scale it pretty nicely together. I will say one minor complaint, actually maybe it's a major complaint about Series 1, is some of the figures have gotten a little bit loose over time, especially in their leg areas. Here he is next to the figures from DC Essentials Series 3, a completely Bat-related wave. Looking pretty good, some modern heroes. I opted not to get any figures from Series 2 as none of them were Batman related. Here he is next to Mime and Marionette, a couple of Joker thugs. They're from the Doomsday Clock comics. These are not necessarily from the DC Essentials line, they're from the Doomsday Clock 2-packs from DC Collectibles. But they match identical articulation and body types from DC Essentials, so I consider it to be branching off that line. Here's Joker with a couple of his thugs. They fit in pretty nicely together. Here he is next to the Watchmen figures from the Doomsday Clock 2-packs. Once again, these are not technically part of the DC Essentials line, but I consider it to be a spin-off of it. They do fit in pretty nicely together, scale, style, and body type wise. And then here's Joker with his arm wrapped around Harley Quinn, both the DC Essentials figures together, in the Joker lair, plotting, planning their next move. Bunch of accessories, all of his weapons back there, and different various thugs. Some of the Batman Beyond gang up top. Then there's the Harley Quinn gang up there. You can see the Titan Harley Quinn thug. Bunch of clown and Joker thug figures. Bunch more. Some of the smaller scale kind. See their vehicles underneath sticking out. And then some Titan Joker thugs in here. But this is where this DC Essentials guy is hanging out for now. And then here he is next to several different clown type action figures released in the past probably 2 years. We got some Mattel WWE, we've got some DC Collectibles, and we've got some NECA figures. And you know what? They all scale up fairly close together, NECA being the tallest. And then here he is riding on the DC Primal Age Joker Lizard type thing. It's got a Joker throne on it, and it actually accommodates these 7-inch figures pretty well, all things considered. Considering it's actually for a 5-inch line, works out pretty well. Next, let's compare him with some other Joker action figures. Here's a recent, semi-recent release from DC Collectibles. This is from the DC Icons line. It's a line that DC Essentials essentially replaced. It was considerably shorter, and I'm very happy personally that DC Direct or Collectibles went back to their 7-inch larger scale, so it fits in with the rest of my DC Direct collection and the majority of the rest of my collection, whereas this guy was considerably shorter. Although, I'm not going to lie, I like this design. I would have rather had him than this kind. Now here he is next to some semi-recent DC Collectibles and DC Direct releases. He is on the taller side of them, but fits in pretty nicely with the majority of these. And then here he is next to some older DC Direct figures. Notice they're scaled pretty similarly to him. Here he is next to some DC Collectibles Batman animated figures. Notice they decided to go with a smaller scale, kind of like the icons with these guys. Here he is next to some NECA Joker figures. I must say this NECA Ledger Joker is arguably one of my favorite Jokers in my entire collection. Definitely the best Ledger Joker, even though the Mafex 2.0 is excellent. Here he is next to a Mezco Joker figure. Can't wait to get the next one. Here he is next to a Yamato figure. This is an older Japanese import figure that I bought because it came with a really cool diorama background piece for Joker's base. Here he is next to a bunch of different Mafex Joker figures. These guys definitely are a little bit shorter than the DC Essentials figures. Here he is next to several Figure Arts Joker figures. Now these guys are way shorter than DC Essentials figures. They're about the shortest line that I collect in my collection. Here he is next to some more recent Mattel Multiverse and DC Universe Classics Joker figures. And here he is next to some older DC Universe Classics, Batman Legacy, and Batman action figure line Jokers from Mattel. Here he is next to a bunch of Mattel Movie Master Joker figures. I got a ton of the Bank Robber Joker figure because I use him as a Joker thug. These guys are getting quite a bit out of scale with the DC Essentials figures at this point. And here he is next to the more recent Mattel Batman Mission action figure line. Now here he is next to some Mattel Power Attack Joker figures. I bought 3 of the more sort of quote-unquote modern-looking Joker because I thought he looked better as a Joker thug than actually used as the Joker. And then here he is next to some older miscellaneous Mattel and Kenner Jokers. Now as far as we know, there's only one more Bat-related DC Essentials figure coming out, and that's Red Hood. The next series is non-Batman figures. I personally am going to get Cheetah because she's pretty cool. And then the next wave after that, we only know about Red Hood. We have no idea if they're going to keep him with 4 figures per wave or if they're going to release a bunch of singles. Either way, I really hope they continue this line and give us plenty more Bat characters in the future. Now, all in all, I'm going to say this is a pretty good figure. He's strong, he's solid, but I have so many Joker figures, you got to do something pretty special to impress me. This guy's probably my top 25% of my Joker figures as far as how much I like him, how good he can move, how good he looks, etc., etc. If I'm going to rate this guy, I'm probably going to give him a harsh 6.5 out of 10, just because there are a lot of Joker figures I have that I like better than him. Even though he is a pretty nice figure, you got to really impress me with the Joker figure to top all the ones that I have. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add in the comments. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching the video. I will talk to you guys real soon.